Hey algebra guys, I'm going to show you what it's like to solve compound inequalities. It's very easy. It's just solving inequalities, but you're given two different inequalities or two inequalities that come together on the graph. All right, so I want you to do this, and if I didn't have you in class or we haven't gotten there yet, if you do this and you say the word and, that means the and compound inequality, and then you point away and you go or, all right? And or. That's how they look on the graph, basically. Hey, looky right here. And, right? You got two inequalities, and then or, they're pointing in opposite directions. This is what an and inequality looks like. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to just touch that button right there and see if it darkens it for you just a little bit. If not, I'll read it out for you. This says, solve negative 3 is less than or equal to 2x plus 5, which is less than or equal to 19. And then what you do is you solve for both sides. You solve negative 3 is less than or equal to 2x plus 5 over there. And then you solve over here, 2x plus 5 is less than or equal to 19. And you solve it over here. And then you do all the math that goes along with it, right? The book, I don't know why they do this, but they skip steps on you. So what they did is they subtracted 5 from both sides, so they came up with negative 8 is less than or equal to 2x, and then they divided both sides by 2, and they came up with x is greater than or equal to negative 4, or negative 4 is less than or equal to x. And then we went to the other side, and we had 2x plus 5 is less than or equal to 19. They subtracted 5 from both sides again. It's the same operations, by the way. And they have 2x is less than or equal to 14, divided both sides by 2, and x is less than or equal to 7. And then they put them together in the end. That's an and compound inequality. And then you see that both of these contain the equal sign, and you probably can't see it because it's shaded in real light. But you make sure if it contains the equal sign, here, I'll show you what those symbols look like. There you go. It's a little darker there for you. And then we do a closed circle at both of those points, and we shade along the graph in between. We connect the dots, basically. So there it is for that piece. And then let's see how they did your or inequality. It's two different inequalities, and then you solve both of them and you graph both of them, and the operations may or may not be the same, but here it looks like simple two-step inequalities. 3y minus 2 is greater than or equal to 7. They've added 2 to both sides, so 3y is greater than or equal to 9. And then they've divided both sides by 3, and y is greater than or equal to 3. There's one of them. And then they said, the other one said 2y minus 1 is less than or equal to negative 9. So 2y minus 1 is less than or equal to negative 9. They've added 1 to both sides. So 2y is less than or equal to negative 8. Remember, minus 9 plus 1, negative 8 minus 8. And then they divided both sides by 2. So y is less than or equal to negative 4. And so both of these symbols contain the equal sign. So, whoop. So we're going to make sure it's a closed circle. And this one over here is y is less than or equal to negative 4. So we put our closed circle around negative 4, and we go left. And this one says y is greater than or equal to 3. We go ahead and close that circle and shade that way. This is really, really simple. The other side is almost as simple except for one minor exception. I'm going to do one example, I think, if I have my tool in hand. I'm going to go ahead, that's not what we want. There we go. Let's go ahead and just drop this down, get rid of it, we'll get back to where we were. Let's see if I can shift up. That looks better. Holy guacamole. They all look pretty simple. There's no craziness on this page. So let's go ahead and do number 1. I'm going to blow it up just a little bit, just to make life a little easier. That means I got to shift it back this way and do some work in the margin. There it is. There's number 1. I'll erase this, and then we'll start doing some math. You can contact me later if you want to learn how to cheat. Sokol does both steps when we have an and inequality, compound inequality. I do both steps at the same time, but just for you guys, I want to write them out separately. So we have negative 10 is less than 3x plus 2, and we have 3x plus 2 is less than or equal to 14. All right, so first step here is to undo our addition with subtraction. So we're going to subtract 2 from both sides, which means we have negative 12 is less than 3x. I'm going to rewrite it because I like to keep things clean and do my math here. Divide both sides by 3, I get a 1. Divide negative 12 by 3, I get negative 4 is less than x. Okay, well, I can go ahead and graph that now, right? Or can I? Well, it's going to be, I know it's going to be an open circle around the negative 4. So let's go ahead and start doing this work. I again am going to subtract 2 from both sides. And 3x is less than or equal to 12. Oh, look at that. 4 is all around. I'm going to rewrite because that's what I do. And if you don't want to rewrite, I don't know why you wouldn't. I guess it takes too much time. Doesn't really. X is less than or equal to 4. You already knew the answer anyway. That contains an equal sign, so I'm going to put a closed circle around it, and I'm going to connect the dots. All right? That's it. That's it. If you want me to do an or, I guess I can, but holy guacamole, it ain't that tough. It's just following the steps every single time. The pre-step. Always remember, sometimes you have to do some distribution. Sometimes you have to get rid of a fraction. After that, sometimes you have to do what's inside a square root. Every now and then you have something crazy that you have to do beforehand. But the steps, once you get to that 2-step equation, step 1, undo the addition or subtraction. Step 2, undo the division or multiplication, and there you have it. Get used to seeing those steps every time. This was it. This is the first part. I'm going to do another video talking about absolute value inequalities.